We got to the OnePlus 13 party late, but I think it is better to be late than never. So here it is, the OnePlus 13 in the Arctic Dawn color. And I do think that this phone is, well, that's what we're here to find out in today's video. Remember to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So first things first, the performance. The OnePlus 13 is powered by the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, and I have seen many people saying that it performs better than other flagships in the market today with the same chipset. That is pretty much the main reason why I want to review the OnePlus 13. So I did the gaming test, but had a few new tricks up my sleeve. We can now find out the render resolution of the game like Genshin Impact, Xenosaga Zero, and also Wuthering Waves by using the built-in camera feature in the game itself. This is quite a big revelation actually, because we can now know the render resolution on the OnePlus 13 across all of these three games, and we found out that they are lowered by quite a lot actually. For Genshin Impact, it is about the same resolution as the Galaxy S25, the small one, whereby Xenosaga Zero is way lower, and for Wuthering Waves, it basically is running in 720p mode. And this is why the FPS is so good and the heat is also so low. OnePlus drastically lowered the render resolution, and I'd argue that with lowered render resolution, it still cannot maintain 60 FPS in Xenosaga Zero. So yeah, that is something to highlight. No Snapdragon 8 Elite phones can maintain it at 60 FPS in this battle. Also, I should mention that it does not matter if we play these games with the phone set at 1440p or 1080p resolution. The render resolution is the same regardless. Speaking of the screen, this OnePlus 13 comes with a 6.82-inch OLED screen with 120Hz refresh rate at a maximum resolution of 3168 by 1440. Pretty high, honestly. The maximum brightness though is a bit funky here. It did spike up to 1320 nits at first, but it is not sustained. It eventually does stabilize to somewhere around 1260 nits, and that's a pretty good brightness level nonetheless. And you can still use this phone outdoors, given that it is not under direct sunlight because the reflection is quite severe. Now there are three different color modes to be selected in the settings menu. By default, it is using the natural color mode, and the colors are quite desaturated since the DCI P3 color gamma coverage is only at 73.75%. If we change it to the Pro color mode though, it doesn't actually change much. It is pretty much the exact same as the natural color mode, so I don't know why this color mode exists. Then the vivid color profile. It is going to crank up the DCI P3 color gamma coverage to 98.67%, and it is going to look way more vivid than it originally is. So if you want to use the OnePlus 13 with a more vivid color, then just change it to the vivid color profile. Otherwise, just don't bother with it. The Pro color profile is again quite redundant since it is so similar to the natural color profile. Also, the OnePlus 13 is using a quad curve screen. I'm personally not a fan of curved screens, but this does look nice. There is some sort of a raised lip around the glass itself, but it is not a big deal. I can't really feel it with my fingers, but if you look at it at a certain angle, it is definitely there. How about the battery life then? Well, the OnePlus 13 comes with an equivalent of 6000 mAh or 22.92 Wh. The battery life is all over the place. I tested it with 1440p resolution at first, and it got 18 hours and 15 minutes. But when I did the test again in 1080p resolution, it lasts for only 15 hours and 10 minutes. So I don't have any idea what this means. I can't really make sense of it, and there are reports from other OnePlus 13 users that the battery life is also kind of iffy with the latest update. So I can't really confirm what's going on with the battery life. The charging speed though, this is something that I cannot really test since if you look at the box from the side, there is no charger included in the box. So we are only testing the USB PD-PPS compatibility instead. It is quite good. With its default out-of-the-box setting, the OnePlus 13 does take in 45 watts but has a wacky charging curve. The thermal limit for this out of the box setting is 37.5 degrees Celsius, but it does need less than an hour to charge from 15% to completion, so all good. If we head into the settings menu and enable the smart rapid charging option, then it changes the way the phone charges. The temperature is held at 37.5 degrees Celsius instead of jumping up and down, but maintains only at 41 watts at most. However, it doesn't actually matter much since the charging speed is more or less the same anyway. As for the software, it is running on the latest Oxygen OS 15 on top of Android 15. I think we have to rip off the band-aid and just confront the reality here. This is basically ColorOS 15 but without the bloatware. Oxygen OS is very clean. Yes, there are some pre-installed apps like Netflix and Fitbit, but they can be uninstalled easily. Oxygen OS 15 in general is very smooth. The animations are nice and the features are pretty much the same as what we have seen before. The Aquadynamics feature works the same as well, and the shelf feature also behaves the same as before. I still wish that we can add home screen widgets here, and I've been asking for this feature for a few years now actually. We also have the Smart Sidebar, which also has the AI Speak and AI Summary features available when we are reading stuff off a website. Those two features are very useful since they can bypass all of the ads on a web page and summarize everything for you. Otherwise, the OnePlus 13 still has the same alert slider at the side, which is very convenient, and I still love this feature a lot. And there's also another thing that we need to talk about, the design. You see, the OnePlus 13 looks basically the same as the OnePlus 12 from last year, and it is also pretty much the same as the OnePlus 11. I do think that this design is now OnePlus's identity. And if they can choose to just use the same design across the few generations, then I don't actually see a problem because it is sleek, nice to hold, and this design just works. There is no reason to actually just redesign the entire phone just for the sake of a brand new design. So there you go. Also, it seems like the camera bump got a bit slimmer this time around. So how does the camera of the OnePlus 13 perform? Well, it has a triple 50 megapixel camera setup, and unfortunately, I'm still very sick even as of this recording because I'm still coughing my lungs out. And from what I can see here, the details and the clarity are great, but the contrast is cranked up way too high, a bit too high for my personal preference. Also, the colors are just not consistent between all the three cameras as seen in this scene. The entire sky and building just changed colors, and that happens quite a lot because the white balance just somehow changes a lot when you change to the telephoto camera. And a few more things to mention about the OnePlus 13. It is using a USB 3 port at the bottom for fast file transfers, and it can also output display via USB-C port as well. But it only mirrors the screen, and since it doesn't have any features like desktop mode or whatever, yeah, this is basically what it can do. And at least for our region, it does have a dual SIM card slot and also an IR blaster at the top of the phone. So, should you buy the OnePlus 13? At the price of 4,399 ringgit for the 512GB storage variant, I do think that this is a very competitive phone. It is a good phone with a very lightweight skin called Oxygen OS, has a great design and also pretty good cameras, but that depends on your taste. The battery life as of now is quite inconsistent, whereby the performance is just nothing to shout about since it's pretty much the same as every other Snapdragon 8 Elite smartphone out there. Actually, the hype around OnePlus 13's performance is kind of false here since they did lower the render resolution by so much. And I honestly do think that this phone in particular, they don't really have much upgrade over the previous generation. It's kind of the same situation as the Galaxy S24 and the S25 series. Yeah, and that's all that we have to share with you here in today's video. Do let us know what do you think about the new OnePlus 13. Do you like it or not? Will you buy this or go for another phone instead? Let us know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below, and also remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.